and welcome to this video. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about how to create your own unique future and not someone else's. By this I mean really discovering the truth of who you are and not just playing out the role that you have either been given or adopted unconsciously. Do you feel unable to solve negative experiences or behaviours that reoccur in your life? And do these negative situations stop you from achieving your goals and stop you from creating the future that you desire? For example, you might sabotage yourself continuously by doing things that you know don't help you. If you have something you know that is blocking you from moving forward and creating your future, then this is the video for you. Most of us have been brought up in a family and a society that has a belief system that we are from a young age expected to adopt. This might be cultural beliefs or political beliefs, to name just two. As children, we often get spoon-fed ideas and concepts that may not resonate with us as individuals, usually by very well-intentioned people. If you are constantly unable to solve negative, reoccurring situations that happen in your life, this often stems from things that you were taught, either consciously or unconsciously, that you didn't resonate with as a child. Understand that this is no judgment on how you were raised. It's almost impossible for you to have loved every single thing about your childhood. In your perception of reality, there is always a duality, a good and a bad. The way you were raised simply form much of your beliefs and ways of doing things on an unconscious level. Just think for a moment about your parents or whoever raised you. What were they like? What did they do for a living? What were their core beliefs? What were their relationships like with other people? How did they view the world and the future? Then look at these answers and apply them to your own life. Where can you see the similarities? For example, if you have an issue with money, did you learn this from how you were raised? Where can you identify something about how you were raised and the problems you are facing yourself? Pause this video and write down your thoughts, or even put them in the comments and let's start a discussion. So now you have identified some similarities, I want you to absolutely understand that there is no use in blaming anyone for what you absorbed as a child. Humans are naturally like sponges, and it's just our survival instinct that makes us follow along with what is provided to us. Remember, passing on these beliefs or behaviours may not have been the intention of the people that raised you, and even if it was, they probably didn't realise that it wouldn't serve you. It's essential that you realise they were only doing their best. It's supremely helpful to realise where your learned behaviour comes from so you can see it clearly, accept it and move on with ease. Every single person on this planet has learned behaviours, so you are not alone and you can change it. Okay, so now on to an exercise. I would like to offer you a way to change this reoccurring negative experience or behaviour by firstly becoming aware of it. Now that you have identified the negative action, what you need to do is become aware of this negative action while you are doing it. Now this can take time, of course. You may have to do the action multiple times before you can stop yourself in your tracks while doing it. Depending on what the negative action is and how long you've been doing it for, this isn't always easy. But when you do, you will feel a huge sense of relief. When you do stop yourself in the middle of doing this negative action, I want you to say out loud, "This is a learned response and now I am aware of it." When you do this over and over and over again, you have literally broken the spell of your issue. There is a tremendous feeling of relief when it happens. Then what you need to do is find a new beneficial action so you can do that instead. This could be meditating, exercising, gardening, swimming, drawing, painting, or something else that you've been putting off for a long time. Often, reoccurring negative patterns go hand in hand with procrastination. So if you are suffering from that as well, then it's essential you do this exercise to shake it off. So, number one, identify the situation and behaviour and write it down. Number two, think of a new situation and behaviour that you can create in its place and write that down. Number 3, when you do that negative behaviour, become conscious of it and say out loud, this is a learned response and now I am aware of it. And number 4, actually do the new beneficial action immediately. So, for example, when I was younger, we always had the TV on. My parents didn't really consider themselves telly addicts, but the truth was, like many households in the UK, the TV was on every morning before school and every evening when I got home. As an adult, I haven't actually even owned a TV, but in recent years, I have noticed myself getting quite into subscription-based services like Netflix. Watching shows can eat up so much time, can't it? So for me, I would complete the process as follows. Number 1, the situation is watching too much Netflix. Number 2, instead, I want to limit this to watching about an hour of Netflix an evening, and only when I've completed everything I need to do beforehand. Number 3, so when I feel myself watching too much Netflix, I want to become conscious and say, this is a learned response, and now I'm aware of it. And number 4, the new action will be switching off my computer and listening to some relaxing music until I get some new inspiration to take another action. And in fact, if you've been watching any of my live streams, you'll know that recently I've created a new sketchbook, and this was an action that I used to move out of my old habit. Acknowledging that you have something to change is the first step in creating a future that you want. You are breaking the pattern and you are creating life on your terms. Well done, I sincerely commend you. Acknowledge you've made a breakthrough. Be kind to yourself and listen to this. You can't know what your vision of the future will feel like without first knowing what it doesn't feel like. Think about it. Now that you know what you don't want, you have the power to create what you do want. Now it's time to release the old, make way for the new. This small step will help you to create a life and a future that you desire. So try this technique with a few more negative beliefs or habits if you have them. When you move through the habit of creating all the things you don't want, you'll feel lighter and brighter and full of potential. You'll feel easier about things and be able to trust your ability to create your own future. Your path will light up for you and you'll find a new sense of enthusiasm. Practice this exercise regularly, as everything worth doing takes time. Take back control of your life one step at a time and give yourself this gift today. So stay creative, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video for loads more solutions on how to create the future that you desire.